Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time.
When you add a shake of Frank's Red Hot, you open a world of better. A world where wings bring out the flavor of game day any day, and where buffalo chicken dip takes any party up a notch. It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Guys, what's up? Welcome to the Bird Brain Podcast, where the goal is to rise above it all, stay elevated, create that infinity, and up your you. I'm your host, Isaiah, and today we are talking about friendship. What it means to be a friend, what it means to have a friend. It's weird. I don't know if it's me or if it's just in the air, but I've been seeing and hearing a lot more people talk about friendship. The rarity of it, of an actual friend, and also to the meaning of it. And it got me thinking, because obviously that's one of my my big focuses, oddly enough, in this life. I think it's funny. I think it's a huge component of people's lives, but it's not given the attention or value that it deserves until it's not there. So yeah, I'm gonna break it down. Like, what defines a friendship for me? What have other people said define friendship? But also, like, what a friendship is not. Because I think sometimes we get caught up in that, and we think we need more friends, but in actuality, we just need more people willing to be a friend. If that makes sense. So we're going to get into that. If you like what you're listening to, leave a comment, leave a review. We just made it to Amazon as well, and Audible, which is a pretty damn awesome thing. And I think it's thanks to you guys, because you guys have been listening. So the traction's been picking up. It's been a widespread. So I appreciate you. Yeah. And if you like what you're listening to, head on over to iTunes, comment, subscribe, or Spotify. I think you can do the same thing. Wherever you listen to the podcast, there should be like some kind of capability to leave a review, if you'd be so kind. Please and thank you. And you can listen to us on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. Us is me and the bird. You can watch on YouTube. You could also follow on Instagram. I like to drop little questions and weekly things on the Instagram. So yeah, if you want to just stay in the loop, stay in the mix, and kind of keep your mind fed throughout the week, follow on Instagram. Also on TikTok, obviously. And I think that's it. You get some Bird Brain merch. Shout out to all the people who have been buying up this merch, because we're almost sold out. So thank you guys. And yeah, this is the last couple of days to get the limited edition 3-year shirt. After the end of August, they disappear. So yeah, there's so much coming with this podcast, and I'm so excited to be sharing it with you guys. So without further ado, get some water, get a pen and paper. If you're driving, put on your seatbelt and just relax. And we're going to get into this. Stay tuned. So the first thing I want to say is that friendship doesn't have a cost, but it is so vital and so important to know your worth as a friend, so you don't confuse it with how someone else values it or does not value it. So yeah, while friendship should not have a cost, like, it should be an authentic kind of exchange, it's important to know how invaluable it is to be a solid friend. And a buddy of mine, he brought something to my attention. He was like, no one's really a bad friend. people are good friends to the people that they want to be good friends to. I was like, that's a concept. That's a thought. And to some degree, it is true. It's like where we keep people, obviously, some people do tiers and all those things. Like someone being a bad friend to you is not indicative of how they take care of other friendships. And the beautiful thing about friendship, the interesting thing is that it's nuanced. There's nuance to friendship. It's a very intricate dance. The reason being, I think, is because it's a choice. It's a very conscious, consistent choice of intimacy with another person. And, recently I've been hearing a lot of conversations about friendship, like people saying that they don't really have friends. People saying that, how lucky it is to have one good friend in your life, that kind of thing. People still dealing with social dynamics of their friends at a later age. So not just talking about like, the sandbox kind of picking and choosing or high school mean girl vibe or whatever, but like 40s, 30s, I'm kind of in these interesting dynamics now, 50s, whereas like people just don't have friends. And earlier last week, I was getting angry. I'm not going to lie. I was getting pretty upset because I think there was a component that I was thinking about where I was like, as much as people talk about friendship, it's the talking about needing a good friend, which let me know that more often than not, people are looking for good friends to have in their life, but not always looking to be a solid friend in somebody else's life. Right. And it's like most people are seeking what they're not given, and then when there's an imbalance, there's all these terms and conditions and stipulations and all that. So I had to think about what friendship meant to me. And on Instagram last week, I asked people, I was like, how do you define friendship? And the qualities and the things that they listed, I thought was amazing because these were different people expressing what they thought a friend was. But also, too, I made sure to ask, what does friendship mean to you? But also, what do you bring to a friendship? Right? Because we could all say, all right, what our ideal situation is, what we love, what we need, desire. But at the same time, what do you bring? Like, what do you show up with? Because that's what friendship is. It's a choice. Your friends are a lot of times serendipitous because we cross paths with 1,000,008 people a day, right? But it's so interesting because with a friend or someone who becomes a friend, there's like this click. There's something underneath. It's like, yeah, you could have a conversation with someone. That's why I talk about frequency and consistency, because I could constantly talk to someone every day of the week and still never feel like there's a friendship there. It's just proximity, right? Friendship is a different level of intimacy. So I'm gonna just pull up a couple of things that people said, how they define friends. And I thought it was amazing. I love that people responded. So shout out to you guys if you did. Um, let's see. I asked what friendship was, and someone said, I feel that friendship embodies consistency, repository, grace, safe places. Someone else said vulnerability and safety both ways. Vulnerability and safety both ways, and showing up. Someone said honesty. Someone said peaceful companionship, where you can feel safe as you are, bringing understanding and support. That's what they bring, understanding and support. And I was like, yes. Someone said reciprocity. All of those things made perfect sense. And I was like, okay, so everybody's on the same page in terms of what a friend is, right? And I intentionally made sure to ask also, what do you make sure you bring? Because I've learned the value of friendship, and I've learned the value of my friendship through the exchanges that I had, good and indifferent. But I've learned the most about friendship through the people that didn't necessarily value it. And so I made a list, like a kind of like a definer of what friendship is. It's friendship for one is a feeling. It's not frequency, it's a feeling. Like I said, you could be in someone's presence constantly and never feel like there's a connection there, right? Um, Reciprocity and rhythm. I think every relationship that you have has a rhythm. And you'll understand it because even when something starts to feel off, it's like you guys are dancing different now. You see what I'm saying? Like so true friendship has a rhythm. It really does. Like there's a certain cadence that you guys just have and it's fluid and there's a level of trust there. Um there's intention and there's also investment. Friendship is not being present at your convenience. I know we talk about boundaries and taking care of ourselves, etc. That's important, but if you're only a friend when it's convenient for you to be there because it's on your terms, that's not a friendship. That's something that's more transactional and conditional. So, no. um, Effort and empathy. So if you write down friend, right? And then you fill in all of it. This is what I did. So the F is feeling, R is reciprocity and also rhythm. The I is intention and investment. The E is effort. There's empathy. There's endurance to some degree. And let's see what else I put. I was going in, guys, because this is an interesting topic for me. Let's see what we have. Yeah, effort, endurance, and empathy for the E. N is nuance. And let's see what else. What else we got? And D is diligence and like some kind of devotion. I think that's what friendship really spells out, or being a friend really spells out. Obviously, honesty, safe space, all of that matters so much. And I think that's often lacking. So I realized if you are the kind of friend, and a lot of people might say they are, where there's like, they're always being the good friend, always willing to show up, etc. If you are truly that person at your core, then it behoove you to be a little bit more selective about your friendships. Because sometimes you're mislabeling, right? I've stopped saying people are bad friends, and instead I've just said I've mislabeled. Because like I said, like my buddy said about people are good friends to their friends that they care about. Because I've been in exchanges where my friendship with this person for some reason was just like, it was just lopsided. And, I know myself, and I value this about me, is that if I'm in your life, I'm going for it. Like, you got me, right? It's we're in it for the long haul. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I am very intentional and I will invest. And then I realized on the other end, the person or people multiple times just didn't mirror that. And I didn't expect them to mirror the same say be emotions, the things that I were doing. I didn't expect them to mimic my behavior in terms of the things that I would practically do. It was just a means of effort. It wasn't there. But I realized they were present for other relationships. No matter how good or bad the other person was, they were present for those relationships. So for me, it let me know, it's like, okay, so in this relationship, you don't feel like you have to try as hard to get your needs met because you know me. So you don't have to really try. Like, you're still going to get whatever you need from me because you know that's who I am. While elsewhere, you might have to work a little bit harder, or you just feel compelled to do so. Again, nuance. Every relationship has nuance because people have their reasons for doing the things that they do or the things that they don't want to do. And you have to decide, okay, is what this person doing, what they're not doing, is that okay for us to have a relationship? And the truth, a lot of times for me, I realize is no, because the things that make up a friendship, those qualities were not there. Someone seeking me out and me being their go-to, I'm their friend, but they're not mine. You see what I'm saying? So it's a mislabel. I value this friendship because of how I pour into it and the way I'm willing to care. And in my head, that's a friend. But that's not the case. And like I said, someone said to me a year ago, or was it 2 years ago? They're like, stop calling this person your friend because they're not much of a friend to you. You're their friend, but they're not much of a friend to you. And that's where mislabeling comes in sometimes. I think sometimes we get blinded by the fact that we care about someone, that we're willing to care about someone so much that we call them our friends. You are their friend. Does that make sense? You're being a friend to them. And again, that's why I think it's so important to understand the nuances of what friendship really is. It's a choice to keep meeting back in the middle, a choice to keep caring about each other, not at convenience and with conviction. And the reason why I think I hold friendship to such a high standard is because I realize it's not that complicated. And when I say that, I've talked about him a million times on this podcast, but one of my closest friends, we've been friends for about 6 years, maybe going on 7 soon. Haven't met each other in person. Don't necessarily have the same hobbies or same interests, whatever the case may be, but beneath the superficial and practical things, there's an intention there to keep showing up for the other person. Like there's care there, there's conviction there. And again, never met in person, 6 years, almost 7 years in, states away, still very close friends. And we've talked about that because we were like, the fact that we became friends at a distance just goes to show this is what friendship looks like. It means that both people keep showing up. It's a choice. It's a choice. Friendship, true friendship, is an active choice to be present in each other's lives. And, we've all had falling outs with friends and, or people we labeled as friends. And one of the things I've not cared to do in a very long time is like when I have a falling out with somebody or I just kind of distance myself, I don't care to clear up rumors about who I am. I don't care to, necessarily try to paint myself as the good guy, whatever case. Like I've gotten to the point where I don't care. The reason being is because there's never once, and this I can say with promise, you'll never hear somebody say that, hey, Isaiah wasn't trustworthy. Isaiah was a shit friend. Isaiah was shady. Isaiah wasn't reliable. He wasn't dependable. The list goes on. You'll never have a person say that. The reason why is because I'm intentional about my friendship. So whatever someone's saying, I don't care. Like it doesn't matter to me because my reputation speaks for itself, right? You have to get to a point in life where your character doesn't matter who tries to slander it. Your character is your character. Your reputation is your reputation. Your reputation is based off of consistency, right? And for me, it's like I don't care to have a lot of friends. I never cared to have a lot of friends. Like I don't, because I value the quality of my relationships more than anything else. Is the quality of my relationships, and I think this year there were so many layers to this year, and I talked about solitude, all those things, but like it really made me take a good look and like laser focus on what friends meant to me, what family meant to me, what relationships meant to me in general. Take a very good look at that and just recognize what it is, like what it really is and what it feels like and what it looks like. And like I said, sometimes it's a mislabel. And when you say, for me, when I say in my head, it's a mislabel versus like, oh, I lost a friend or whatever. It's like, it's not a loss because if someone wasn't being much of a friend to you, you didn't lose a friendship because you never gained, you never gained a friend. You were doing a dance, but if your usual complaint or detractor was that this person wasn't showing up, they weren't being reliable when you needed them. They weren't there. They were only present when they needed something from you. Like all of those qualities they don't equate to a friend. So that means you never had a friend. So you didn't lose a friend. You didn't lose a friend. You mislabeled because sometimes we are eager to have someone fill that friend spot. The fact of the matter is we all need friends. We all need friends. We just don't need everybody to be our friend. And everybody's not going to be your friend. Even the people that you hope or think to be, it's just not going to happen. And that is okay. Because then it comes down to, well, what kind of friend am I, right? How am I willing to show up in my friendships? Do I make excuses or do I lean in? All right. If you know that about yourself and you can be honest, like what kind of friend are you? Once you know what kind of friend you are, you get to decide who has access to your friendship. Like you don't allow somebody to tell you who gets a piece of your friendship, especially when you do your best to be a solid friend. Not everybody should have access to that. The reason being is because not everybody's going to show up in the same way. There's boundaries. Like I said, there's nuances, and you have to decide what your threshold is. But if you're in an exchange where it doesn't feel like you are having your needs met, even on the minimal level, that's not a friend. That's someone that you're a friend to, and they're just being friendly, right? And like I said, friendship is such an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing. I value friendship so much. I really truly value friendship because friendship becomes, some of your most important friendships, they become family. They are family. And my boy Coco is my brother. Without thought, that is my brother. And I value that so much, and the fact that I can say that with conviction and without, hesitation. I'm like, yeah, that's my brother. It feels good because what that lets me know is that there are people that I have in my life that near or far, I don't worry about the relationship. There's so much confidence in that relationship and security because the choice is being made to keep coming back to center. When you understand that, when you understand what friendship means to you, when you understand what kind of friend you show up to be, when you understand those things and you have conviction behind those things, your dynamics will change a little bit. I promise you. You might have a lot less friends or connections than you think. But what kind of friend are you being to yourself? You have to be that same friend to yourself. And I think a lot of times that's why I don't worry, because I'm like, I'm a solid ass friend, and that doesn't stop when it comes to me. It's like I've made it a point to be a very solid friend to myself. Like, I work so damn much, and sometimes I'm like, oh man, I want to go I want to go check out a movie, or I want to go to the bookstore or whatever, and I'll be like, nah, maybe not. I could get some more work done. And I'm like, Isaiah, no, we're going to do our thing. Put that down for a little bit. The work is going to be there. Yes, I have deadlines, but that still doesn't mean I cannot take myself or take care of myself. Because I'd be saying the same thing to another friend. I'm like, look, you work so damn hard. Like, give yourself some breath. Breathe a little bit. Do your thing. And I've done that, and I love that. So when you understand the quality of your friendship that you can give, you realize you don't have to give it to everybody. And the people that disappear because you're not willing to give that friendship and they're not willing to work for it, you're doing yourself a favor. Because like I said, as much as people talk about friendship and how important it is, people are talking about what they look for in a friend. Not everybody's talking about how they show up as, and there's such a difference there. There's such a difference because it's like, be what you seek. I can't expect a solid friend if I'm not being one on my end. And that's what I value. I tell myself that, like, even people I was friends with, it's like, I still care. There's still value there. I wish no ill will, because at one point in time, you were probably one of the most important people to me in my life. And even though that's changed, I still wish you well. Why? Because that's who I am. That's who I am. I want the best for you. And that's cool. Like that's all good. So like I said, when I say I have fallen outs with friends, it's like whatever story they're telling to whoever. First off, the people that they're probably telling it to, sometimes is like you have to look at, it's not just about the company you keep, but it's your company's company too. And if they're all sitting around, it's like, okay, these are the people that you gravitate towards. These are the people that you create relationships with. So whatever you say about me to them, it doesn't really matter. I had no desire to be friends with them. It was that person, I made an attempt to be friends with. But you have to look past that person and look at their company sometimes, right? And that's all good. That's all good. So if you're confident in your relationship or you're confident in what you bring to a relationship, don't trip about anything else. You will find friends along the way. Like I said, you'll cut the fat. You'll cut a lot of fat. And sometimes you may feel like, damn, why don't I have any friends? Hey, you have some. And as long as you're being a friend to yourself, that's all that matters. You will find some solid people. And it sucks to feel that way, but it's necessary. Not everybody can make it to the top of that mountain. And it's a vetting process. We have associates, acquaintances, etc. But friends, it's a rarity. It's a rarity. And, sometimes you will go through the hardest moments. And when you go through hard moments, they always say, like, that reveals your true friends. And there's a lot of truth to that. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of truth to that. And I've had moments where that was revealed. And I'm just like, okay, I see it for what it is. There's no need to get mad or anything like that. It's disappointing. I'm not going to lie. There's a hit of disappointment because I know how I'm willing to be present. And then I understand everybody, again, prioritizes differently. But you do not owe it to anyone to stick around and wait for them to decide when they're going to make you a priority. That's one thing. I hear all the time, and someone even tried to argue with me about my expectations being too high. And I was like, well, no, I think you get me confused. My expectations are not that high. My standards are. My standards are high. And I think sometimes your standards should be high, especially when it comes to friends. Because like I said, it's a choice. It's an intimate choice. It's a relationship that you're choosing. And it influences so much in your life. That's another thing we downplay the influence that our friends have in our life. If you have someone in your life that secretly is not happy to see you win, do you notice how you shrink yourself in a lot of ways? You stop telling them news, you stop sharing good news, or you feel like you have to kind of like minimize a little bit when you're around certain people. I always say it's the first people you want to tell good news to. And it's changed for me in certain ways. There's some people I just stopped telling good news. I wouldn't say we're friends any longer, but that's when I started to notice, because if I share good news with them, there was a change in subject, there was a downplay, or it was as if they never even heard it. And I was like, all right, cool. That's information for me. And you have to trust how you feel. Like, again, intuition, feeling. Chemistry is a real thing. And if you pay more attention to how you feel around a lot of people, you'll stop looking past that to sustain a relationship. Intuition is a better friend than any person you'll have in your life. And it'll tell you exactly what you need to know. Always. My mom said her circle is a dot. I love that because it's true. Like, it's very rare that you'll have a ton of quality friends. That's it. Because it requires investment and intention, right? And yeah, it's give people room. Give people room to be who they are versus you holding them close because you want them to be what you need them to be. Give people room. Friendship is not for everyone. And while friendship will exist at different times, it's important to value the people that withstand time. They're not seasonal. They last through the seasons. They're weatherproof. And And just always remember, some people talk about friendship like they're entitled to it, but they never feel obligated to offer it. So just go where you're mirrored. Like I said, I don't expect the same practices as a friend, but to just know that there are people that care and that value, and there's a level of security there, speaks volumes. Because, like I said, you can feel it. And trust how you feel. You know, work through your stuff, yes, because you don't want to bleed out on everybody. But trust how you feel and pay attention to what you're shown versus what you want to see. And that will help you a lot. And don't worry about being alone or not having as many friends as you thought, because they were never friends. They were just people that were in your company. All right? Be a friend of yourself. Be what you seek. And I think life will take care of itself. If you're a good friend, you will be met with good people. You will keep good people. All right, I promise you that. To all my friends listening, hey, y'all know I love y'all. To hell and back. And it's a big deal for me. So, yeah. Glad to be a friend to you. Glad to have you as a friend. It's real talk. It's real talk. So, guys, make sure you tell your friends you love them and you appreciate them. Check on your strong friends. Do all that. And just really water those seeds, because friendship is one of the most important relationships you'll have in your life. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I wish you guys an amazing week, and I hope you guys do get to spend time with your friends, your true friends, in some way, shape, or form this week, because we all need that. Whether we're doing good, whether we're not doing so good, whether we just want to fill space, you know, our friends, man, it's the gift that keeps on giving, right? So take care of yourselves, all right? Take care of each other. As always, take flight. Love y'all.